I really need to go to bed. It's like 2:20, but I can't stop watching MTV. They're actually playing music videos. Um, wouldn't that be something if a little bit of Michael Jackson's legacy was that he actually got MTV to start playing music videos again? Um, I know Farrah Fawcett died today. She was battling cancer for a really long time, so while it's really sad, it wasn't a surprise. Ed McMahon was, a little bit of a shock, but the dude was like in his mid to late 80s, so again, sad, but he was old. Um, Michael Jackson. Um, I don't know. Let's get the ugliness out of the way. I mean, he changed. He got weird. He got ugly, mentally, physically. He did some really gross stuff. Whether intentionally, unintentionally, whether he was in denial. I think the guy did some shit with some kids, like whether or not he thought it was right or wrong or whatever. Would you let your kid stay in another man's bed, whatever? Like, the guy wasn't right. That aside, it does not change me listening to Thriller in 1984 over and over and over again, every song on that album or cassette, watching those videos over and over and over again, Billie Jean and Beat It, and, then, in the 80s, stuff off of Bad, or stuff off of later on, stuff off of Dangerous. Thriller, it was a mini movie, and I was scared. I was so scared of it, and Michael Jackson to me is. I love Stevie Wonder. You put a Stevie Wonder song on, I'm good to go. For me, the number one all-time band for me is the Beatles. They're number one all-time favorite. But some other artists in that respect for me, where you can put on just about anything they've ever done, and I'm happy. I love their music. Elvis, Stevie Wonder, Prince, Michael Jackson. I'm never going to be sad if someone throws Michael Jackson on the album or the iPod, or throws in a CD of Michael Jackson at a party. I'm never going to be sad. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. You certainly don't have, your Timberlake and your Usher, without him. But, I think he's my generation's Elvis. I think he's my generation's Howard Hughes. For the good or the bad. But I'll tell you today, like, I'm completely shocked. I think it's one of these days that, I'll remember what it was like, where I was, what I was doing the day I heard Michael Jackson died. I don't know. I think it's just a moment of a piece of my childhood is gone unexpectedly. He was only 50 years old. That's not very old. I don't know. I'm sitting here watching all these videos and being like, even they'll start a video and I'll be like, I don't know the song, Heal the World, and then it starts and I'm like, yeah, I at least know that song, or I'll be like, oh yeah, whatever, and I'm like, no, I liked Smooth Criminal, and yeah, I remember the time, I like that, and then I'm like, The Way You Make Me Feel, I haven't heard that song in a long time, and I don't know, there's just so much, the dancing, the singing, he influenced clothing trends at some point. People would wear one glove for a while back in the day. I don't know. It's a feeling, you know. I can't even necessarily describe what it is. Um, and it's fine, you know. People are making jokes or whatever. I think that's what we do to deal with tragedy. I think it's cathartic. I think that's, you know, I have no problem with, you know, being a smart ass, but it means something to me. Like, I kind of want to talk to people. I kind of want to run around and be like, tell me your favorite song. Tell me your favorite memory. Tell me, you know, how you relate to Michael Jackson. I'm liking seeing, you know, Justin Timberlake's quote, Madonna's quote, and like, you know, Snoop Dogg's reaction or Reverend Run's reaction, or I don't know. I don't know. This guy has been turned into sort of a circus and sort of a circus freak for a lot of people for a long time. But now that he's dead, as we tend to do with our dead, we tend to eulogize them and honor them. We tend to put aside their, you know, the stuff we didn't like about them. And I think people are remembering, like, musically, this guy was amazing. You know, he was a genius. He you know, laid down the foundation for, you know, the last 20, 30 years of people. And I don't know, you know, I think it's, ladies and gentlemen, would you agree? The Jackson 5. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's the other thing someone said. They were like, you know, he had a really hard life. And he did. I mean, his dad treated those kids like shit. You know, he abused those kids. You know, so you start off with that, you know, like, I mean, who knows? You know, was he gay? Was he just, you know, stuck in a child? Was he stuck in a childhood? You know what I mean? Like, did he have such a child? You know, such a abusive childhood that was also partially stuck in like a childhood state? You know, who knows? You know, who really knows? But the fact of the matter, or you take the abuse, you take the fame, and then you also take, you know, this idea that like oftentimes genius and madness, that the line between them is very, very thin. You know, many people, you know, have that problem who are extremely talented. And 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I'll be having a lot of reminiscing. That's for sure. So rest in peace, Michael. Rest in peace.